Check all these dudes out, guys. How'd you like to wrestle one of them dudes? Look at that monster. Boy, that son of a gun's thick. Well, hello everybody. Good to see you. So today, it's August 6th, Ohio. We got a few rainy days. So I'm trying to get a good catch on this deer plot. Well, I've got a couple of them. And reason being the rain, so there's no way for me to water everything. There is, but it'll be an extra lot of work by the time I get this done. The rain's gonna really help me out. So it'd been nice to get here a couple days earlier, but I gotta do what I gotta do, so it's been busy, busy, busy. Original plan, I had worked up a couple spots down there earlier in the spring, and I was going to come back around now and broadcast this daikon radish. Well, so later on I'd found that's 5 pounds of daikon radish seed. Later on I found a pound of this winter tolerant kale. It's a dwarf Siberian kale. So I went ahead and threw some of that kale in some cups of soil to see how well it would germinate. And I ended up with a whole tub of them. There's like probably close to 40, 45 of them in there. Some of them I planted in the garden. A lot of you know I'm working with 4 gardens, vegetable gardens, and I had recently borrowed space from my parents to plant in some other things. I started I don't think around close to 100 cabbage seedlings. Now these are the smaller ones that are left. I'd planted, well, I got 3 dozen of them at the house. I'd planted some in the spaces I've borrowed. I planted some of the kale in the spaces I've borrowed, but I've got, I don't know how many left there, probably about close to 50 seedlings left. Some of them are bigger and a lot of them are small. I'm gonna go ahead and put them in the deer plots. Some of the bigger ones I'll take down and put around my camp, see how they do. It's a late flat Dutch cabbage and also winter cabbage, 2 different types of cabbage. So it's all hillside here. I got one flat, semi-level spot, which I'm gonna work on last, but this first spot I'll take you down and show you. I'm not gonna try to dig a hole for every one of these cups. I'm just gonna trench across left to right up the hill. I've already dug it up, pulled out all the rocks, laid the rocks out for, slow water down from washing out, kind of a terracing. And I'm gonna kind of terrace these little seedlings, and then I'll broadcast the radish in there. The rest of the kale seed I'll probably take down to another spot I got leveler and then just broadcast that out. But it's a lot of work. Got to get on it on my 2nd gallon of coffee, and I'm ready to go and get in as much as I can today. So you can see right there, it's kind of a hole. I had a salt lick there. It's gone now, so I got to get another one of them down here. But you kind of see how them lines of rocks go there, and there's another one, another one, another one. They just keep going on up to them totes there. That's where I kind of cleared out through here. There's a little bit come back in since I've been here, but I'll clean that out as I plant stuff. Had a couple spills on the way down, trying to bring everything at once on the sled, so ended up taking it apart, bringing it down a little bit at a time. You can't really see it, but to the left of those toasts is a nice big old debris hut with an opening out front. That's where I was sitting. That's where I like to get in there and hang out, but I gotta get down to camp, check on it, bring back a couple of my tools, and then we'll go ahead and get some stuff planted up here. Everything's fine at camp. Just some cobwebs and a few new mice, but I'll take care of that. So some of you probably remember how I trenched around the tent there, get it run off, and it's got runoff that'll run down out of the way, keep things dry right here. But what I'm gonna do is right along there, I've piled dirt where I dug that trench out. I'm gonna rake that back, throw some of that cabbage in there, and then back up in that way. It's a little more level and it gets some sun in there. I got a spot I started on, but I'm gonna go back and finish that at the end, and that'll be another area for deer plot right there. Probably just the kale, maybe some of the radish. But I got came down to get my trusty old hoe here. That'll do most of the work I need to do. I got a rake up there too, so get back up there and get to work. And there's a seedlings I got left. Them are all cabbage for the next spot, but I want to show you here before I plant them in the cups, so you got an idea of how many seedlings I got in here, because once I plant them you probably won't be able to see them on the camera. But I just cut trenches alongside the trench all the way down through, or trenches alongside the bed down through there. I mean, there's hundreds of them in there all the way down, and I'm just mixed them. I got, cabbage, kale, it's all mixed in. And then you got to keep in mind, in between all these, in these blank spaces, they'll be raked out, and then I'll be broadcasting the daikon radish in there. So that should give it a chance. A deer could come in tonight and eat every one of these things off, but I think we'll get a pretty good chance to get these things going, and then it'll give the radish seed a chance to get going. So yeah, on these trenches, I'll just come in, pull my cup, set my plant, and then I'll come back up here with the hoe and bring more dirt down on it. And then I got a hill here backing it up. So, and then I'll rake all them spaces in between out, and we'll broadcast it. All right. We got that many seedlings in, planted. Now we got a good downpour. A lot more work to do, but that was a pretty good catch on that one. I'm gonna go back to the truck a while and have some lunch before I hit the next spot. Roughing up between these rows to catch some of that seed when I broadcast it, but I'm hoping this rain will lighten up before I open it. I don't want to soak that whole 5-pound bag of seed, but I can probably cover it with my body and get by with it. I'm going to end up using most of it out here, I think, long couple spots or two, but really hate to get that whole bag of seed wet. Anything you can do to increase your odds, do it. Probably got about 2 pounds of seed in that thing. Lay them in here good and thick. Getting wet and sticky, hard to get out of there, clumping up, but I'll get it. Okay, you guys that know the camp, there's how that one's laid out. This campside cabbage. I'm gonna get them planted in on this front side closest to us. I'll cast in some kale seed by hand on this outside. I'll cast in a little bit of that daikon radish after I get them set and raked out. I have a few more going on here in a minute. Any of this stuff I've been planting isn't just strictly deer food only. I can eat any of it. Kale, cabbage, radish. It's just, I got a ton of it. I want to get it out, increase my odds of surviving. We got to have food. So this side's the kale. I'll come back down that other side with the radish. Plant it good and thick enough, something's gonna make it. I actually like to make this a decent little garden bed one day. I'll build it up with this stuff and go from there. I think you guys got the idea of what the heck's going on anyway. I just really want to get on here and tell everybody hi and show you what's going on. It's constant, guys. Busy, busy, busy. So I hope you guys are doing well. I'm glad you stopped in and everything. I got a couple more of these due, and I gotta get back home to some other gardens and work on. I still gotta get you a shot of some of them other gardens and show you how some of them are working out. I've learned a few things on them, and for the most part they're doing really, really well. Wish they have a good harvest of corn, squash, and beans, varieties of them. And then I still got to get them potatoes up. I'm gonna put some more cabbage in where them potatoes come out. I got more turnips, beets, and radish in the ground already. I got more I got to get in within the next week or so. That's it. I'm not going to plant any more after August 15th, the end of it, the planting. A lot of the turnip and beets and radish we've already ate a bunch of them. Some of them are fermenting, some of them are pickled. A lot of it I ate raw. You know, like I said, I've replanted them too, so a lot of them will do good in the early winter, late fall, early winter, and all that. Same as this stuff. All frost, you know, frost, they can handle frost and everything. They can run late into the season. Plus, out here in the woods, they're under cover, which it's a bit early because they don't get that much sun, but there's enough to come through. I think they can get rooted in good, and hopefully we'll see what happens. We'll see what does good where, and we'll adjust from there next time around. Just got to keep at it, guys. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for coming by. We'll see you all later. Take care.